school at 30, went straight to my undergraduate degree in law school. I don't want to overrun the meeting. I just want to talk about cheer and care, and just let you know one day part of your community too. So, if you got any questions for me, I will sit down and feel free to ask me whenever. I think everybody in here has my phone number. If not, I'll leave it. I'll make sure that you have access to me. So, thank you very much.
Okay, 7:30, we'll have a call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Jerry Mabry. Absent. Councilmember Andy Bode.
Here.
Phillip Laux.
Here.
Terri Witcher.
Here.
Carolyn Johnson. And Jack Perkey. So Jack is absent, and so is the mayor, but we do have a quorum.
Okay, are there any citizen comments?
Yes, I have a letter that I'd like to read. I was going to address it to the mayor, but since he's not here, address it to Mayor Carolyn. Please accept this letter as a formal written complaint against the city secretary, Kelly Alfred. Ms. Alfred and councilperson Witcher filed a report with Johnson County Sheriff's Office, case number 21-3674, in which my name was included by Ms. Alfred in her witness statement, simply because I requested open records to the city of Briaroaks on May 27, 2021, and I've got those attached here. In her report, she even misstated the nature of the paperwork I requested. As a resident, I was well within my rights to request these records and paid for them. I also wish to note that the records were received well after the response deadline and feel that they were delayed by Ms. Alfred on purpose. Ms. Alfred should never have included my name in this report filed against Johnson County. All allegations in the report were investigated and determined to be unfounded. Unfounded is determined as having no foundation or basis in fact. Even so, my reputation has been damaged. I am only a resident of Briaroaks and had absolutely nothing to do with the unfounded charges. But I feel I have become a target because my mother, Councilperson Johnson, is a council person with whom Ms. Alfred and Ms. Witcher have issues. I fear that since I was mentioned by name in this report of unfounded charges filed with Johnson County Sheriff's Office, these two will continue to retaliate, try to further damage my reputation, and take punitive actions against me. Therefore, I expect the City Council to take disciplinary action against Ms. Alfred.
Can I respond to that?
You're not, no.
Okay, I will. That's not true.
We're still in citizen comment.
Hmm?
We're still in citizen comment.
The purpose
Yeah,
of
okay.
citizen comment is for them to speak on anything we don't need to.
Okay, we'll
It's not
we'll
like
comment on it
anything
later.
else.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, is there anyone else? Okay, we're going to do a review and approve minutes from the March 7th, 2022 special meeting.
Meeting minutes for March 7, 2022. Call to order. The meeting was called to order at 7:30 p.m. by Mayor Jerry D. Mabry. Roll call. Mayor Jerry Mabry, Council members Andy Bode, Mayor Pro Tem, Phillip Laux, Jack Perkey, Terri Witcher, Carolyn Johnson. There is a quorum. Briefing by City Attorney on Opens Meeting Act. Mayor Mabry addresses everyone by stating council will enter an executive session at 7:31 p.m. He reads the legal code that allows us to move into an executive session. City Attorney Lindsay Hale addresses everyone to leave the room. Council returns from executive session at 7:56 p.m. Approval of minutes from February 7, 2022 meeting. Councilmember Bode asked what the stated correction was. Councilmember Laux clarified he himself presented a correction and council approved it at that time. Councilmember Witcher made a motion to approve the minutes as read. Councilmember Laux seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Ballot drawing for place 3. Secretary Alfin conducted the drawing. Howard Bogart will be listed as place 1 and Andy Bode will be listed as place 2 on the ballot. Discuss and take action on salary amount for election workers. Councilmember Perkey made a motion for $12 an hour. Councilmember Witcher, second. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discuss and take action on early voting election dates and times. Secretary Alphen presented the dates and times. Councilmember Witcher made a motion to accept the dates and times. Councilmember Laux seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discuss and take action to post election notice in the paper. Councilmember Laux motion to approve to post in the Cleburne paper. Councilmember Witcher seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Ratify Automark lease agreement with Johnson County. Councilmember Laux made a motion to authorize the contract. Councilmember Witcher seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discuss and take action on requests from address 1700 Tarver Road to vacate plat. City Attorney Lindsay Hale explains that the council can request more information and not make a decision yet. Councilmember Witcher made a motion to request more information from the requesting party and table until the April 4th meeting. Councilmember Laux seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discuss and take action on requests from the address 2316 Tarver Road to allow a mobile home park. Councilmember Laux makes a motion to invite them to the April 4th meeting to discuss and present more information. Councilmember Witcher seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discuss and take action on requests by Secretary for reimbursement of expenditure. Councilmember Witcher made a motion to table to the next meeting. Councilmember Laux seconds. 5-0 in favor, motion passed. Discussion of future agenda items. Councilmember Laux says we need to look into a city treasurer. Councilmember Witcher has had people ask if the city has a contract with Bob's trash collection. She also wants to discuss ordinances and businesses being run in town. Citizen comment. Need street signs for Trailwood to include speed limit and no outlet. Review the need for a contract for repavement of city streets. In regards to 1700 Tarver, does the city have any authority or control over recourse for watershed? In the North Border ETJ review. Adjourn. Mabry closed the meeting at 8:34 p.m.
Okay, is there any discussion? Is there a motion to accept?
In all caps.
Any motion to accept?
I motion to accept the minutes as they were read.
Second?
John?
I only got these minutes tonight. I haven't had time to really study them over.
I'm leaving really soon, so I'm not looking to take a lot of executive action that y'all will be held accountable to. So I was waiting to see if anybody else was going to second it. If that makes sense.
Do you want time to go over?
Pardon me?
Do you want time to go over?
I'm not going to accept
So, we still need a second.
Does that make sense?
Or do we not accept it? You second it?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is this being my last meeting, I'm not going to sit here and make motions and accept motions left and right.
It doesn't keep you from it. I'll second it.
I understand.
Okay, so motion to accept and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. 2. Opposed?
I'm going to have this
1.
Mr. Laux, are you going to abstain from the whole agenda?
Probably not, no.
Okay, so why are you abstaining from this specific one?
I understand her point of view. I'm not going to get in her way.
Okay.
Okay. Question. Do you-
Can I not abstain?
Are you saying?
Yes, you can.
abstain or,
I'm going to abstain from this vote, yes.
okay, so that's the same thing as 2-2, correct? Doesn't it count as a no?
You only need to abstain if you have a conflict of interest. You don't need to abstain just because you don't want to vote So if you don't want to, if you understand her point of view, you don't want to hold her against it, then you need to vote against it. Or if you're okay with passing them, then you need to vote for them.
So you're telling the city council how they can vote, so you can't abstain and you can't table it?
I'm saying you can absolutely table things. I'm saying that there are reasons that you are allowed to abstain, and they're typically there for conflicts of interest.
Okay.
We don't need to be, and
This-
we talked about this, I think, in my first meeting I was here too,
Mhm.
because we can't just abstain because we don't want to vote on something. That's not a legal reason to abstain.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you explained that, because we need legal counsel for a long time, and we just recently got you.
No, that's
So
what
I'm glad you're here to explain that to us.
That's what I'm here for, yeah.
Right, but like, I certainly can vote on it, I don't see a problem with the minutes.
Okay.
But like I said, if you're sitting here on your last meeting, you don't want to hold all these people held accountable for something you're about to walk out the door on. So I don't have a problem with it. I can vote to approve it, but I understand her position.
So, I mean,
I'll vote for it.
that can be on the record, I mean, it's.
That's fine.
We can have that on the record, but, so let's
Okay.
have a motion and a second and a revote, so
That's
it's
fine.
clear.
That's
Motion
fine.
passed, 3-4.
No, we need a,
A motion to accept the minutes as they were read. And
Second.
You second? You pass a bunch of stuff on what you have accountable.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Raise your hand. Who's voting?
In
All in
favor?
favor, raise your right hand. Against?
So 3-1.
All right, review January, February financial reports. City of Briaroaks financial report, January 2022. General account, beginning balance, $219,450.83. Income received from comptroller, $3,789.69. Checks cleared, Texas Workforce Commission, $42. Secretary Alvin, November salary, $461.75. AT&T, police, and animal control funds for December, $81.62. Secretary Alvin, December salary, $461.75. And a replacement for the Laux secretary check for October, $461.75. Texas Municipal League membership, $591. Overcash December calculations, $4. USPS mail-in checks to secretary, $7.38. T-Mobile bill, $89.71. Checks outstanding, that's a total of $2,201.03. Ending balance, $2,221,039.49. Special account, beginning balance, $1,770.22. No checks written, balance is the same, $1,770.22. Savings account, beginning balance, $8,435.22. Deposits from 3 CDs, $14. Ending balance, $8,449.22. And for the City of Briaroaks financial report, February 2022. General account, beginning balance, $229,039.49. Income from the comptroller, $165.14. Southwestern Bell, $224.88. For a total of $4,390.03 income. Checks cleared. IRS order tax, $229.50. U.S. Treasury food tax, $25.35. United Cooperative Services, $8.23. USPS to mail W-2s, $10.99, included in IRS, $14.50. Statement number 1 for TOASC, T-Mobile bill, $89.78. Overcash calculations for the full quarter, W-2s, 1099s, and January payroll, $117. Checks outstanding, Secretary Alvin, January salary, $461.75. And that leaves a total of $2,514.57. Ending balance was $222,914.94. Special account, beginning balance, $1,770.22. Checks written, Judge Gabbard, salary, $375. Judge Gabbard, regional seminar, $50. Checks outstanding, none. Total of $425. And that leaves an ending balance for the special account, $1,345.22. Savings account, beginning balance, $8,449.22. Deposits from 3 CDs, $14 again. Ending balance, $8,463.22. Item 6, discuss, take action on interlocal agreement with Johnson County concerning ETJ's resolution of flats.
Are you going to ask for approval for the financials?
Wait a second. None of the previous ones have been approved, so until they get approved, can't approve this week.
Yeah, I understand that, because I was looking through some of the financials from the back that I finally got a hold of, and in August, which we already approved, there is a problem there. There was a deposit, it just looked like it was a comptroller, but there was actually 3 different deposits on there.
We should address that with the treasurer. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, we're ready to go on? The question about the ETJ is whether or not we retain our power to determine whether or not someone in our ETJ can bring their plat to us and then we can change it, approve it, whatever. The county wants that power, and they sent us a interlocal agreement to do so, which I handed over to Lindsay. So we need to determine, do we want to retain that power?
Yes, I wanted an interlocal agreement about a year ago. I brought it up,
Okay.
not just for that, but for some other things, and nothing ever happened. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea.
It was in the hands of Mayor Salinas at the time, and
No, I brought it up after he left.
But we still, it needs to be done.
Can we
It
hear from
does.
our legal counsel on this, now that we have one?
And the agreement that they drew up was they wanted to keep the power, we wanted to keep it. So they would have to change it, and then we would have to sign it.
I would like a legal opinion on this.
Do you agree that we need to keep it?
I would like a legal opinion on this. She's sitting there.
So there was a statute that was passed almost 20 years ago that requires for a city's ETJ, there has to be some sort of interlocal agreement between the county and the city as to who has the authority for platting permits. So this is something that should have been done, it should have been done already. Now, the interlocal agreement that the county sent over is very standard. I didn't have any changes to it. It's very common for counties to have the platting authority in ETJs. It just essentially, it just says anybody that wants to plat in the ETJ, it's going to go through the county. They have to give notice to the city so you know what's happening, but essentially you don't have any authority to regulate that. Now, if that's not the agreement that you want, then we can renegotiate with the county and say, we want to have that, and we can work that out in a separate agreement. And I know that we kind of talked about that in relation to some of the applications that we had at the last meeting. So the interlocal agreement that they've provided is standard. If you guys agree to it, we can sign it. But again, you're not going to have any authority for platting in the ETJ.
I have three things. One, I'd like to see the agreement. I haven't seen it. Two, I'm guessing this law was put into effect to protect small cities within counties that the counties had control of, to give the cities some say-so in this. And three, from the people around me that I've talked to are very concerned about some of these developments coming in. Very concerned. You see attendance is up. They want not only this defined, they don't want to. This is government and politics. Those county people don't live here. They don't live across the street or next door from this. Okay, it's easier for them to approve or be corrupted by developments. It's harder to convince us of things. We live here. It affects us more. Our kids are here. Our parents are here. I don't think we should give away any control of that.
So that's something we could definitely negotiate. One thing I will say, there is a distinction, we talked about this last time, a distinction between a subdivision ordinance, right? So your zoning ordinances and your platting ordinances. As of the last time we checked, which was before the last meeting, we cannot find any subdivision ordinance for the city of Briaroaks. So typically, your city subdivision ordinance, your zoning ordinance is going to apply to your ETJ. The problem is we don't have that. So that by default right now goes to the county until we get a zoning ordinance in place. So there's a distinction between zoning and the platting purposes. I just want to make sure that's clear. So this is just saying, we're going to take, the county's saying we're going to take all of it.
I'm so glad you're here. We're learning a lot.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, another thing I know, people don't move to Briaroaks for more government intervention in their lives. And we don't need real restrictive and real complex zoning ordinances. But if we need a zoning ordinance to protect what we have, we need that.
Okay.
You know.
I think both of them. don't
Nobody
you?
threw any
I
rocks
think
at me
the
when I said that,
subdivision
so.
and the platting ordinance, can you do both? Or
So it would be separate. So what we would do is, yes, we'd have a subdivision ordinance, and then we would negotiate an agreement with the county regarding platting. And the agreement would say, no, we're going to retain the authority to handle that. One thing I will caution you that comes along with that is having staff and the procedures and a process for people that submit plats and zoning changes and requests. And I just want to make clear there are responsibilities that come along with that. And so we have to be prepared to handle those.
May I ask what kind of burden that will be on the city?
Well, you'll
Very
have
substantial?
potential. I don't currently know like what comes in for that, how many plats are coming in, requests are coming in, how many zoning requests are coming in.
There's approximately 2 lots left in this city. So.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying that there are other implications that could come along with it. And we don't have to decide, we don't have to iron that out right now. I just want you to be aware. That means you're going to be responsible for reviewing plats. It means you're going to have a process for approving them. You're going to have standards for approving them. So we'll have to set all of that, which we can do. It's not a big deal. There are just other steps that are going to go along with saying, yes, we want to control it, but that comes with responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's definitely opening a door.
Yeah. Procedures, we're definitely in need of procedures. We don't have any.
Well,
So,
we don't want too many,
well, now for that.
but it's definitely opening a door. We don't want to give up power, but it is taking on a lot more
Yeah.
that we don't have anybody responsible for. But if we leave it as basic and simple as possible, it's taking on less. You know, I think the city needs that responsibility, but it doesn't need to be overly restrictive and overly complex and overly is.
We've already given away the ETJ to anything that Ferguson touches.
It's not supposed to do.
So why would we want to give away more? We're big brain and all of them kind of, we don't need a whole bunch of that all over the place. The we've already given that away a bunch of years ago.
I think we should retain all that we can. There's going to be land at the end of Briaroaks Road that may be on,
Well, there's four of us in agreement.
pardon?
There's four of us in agreement right now that we need to retain.
Yes, definitely.
So, we need a motion.
If you want to, yeah, I mean, if we want to deny the interlocal agreement,
In your experience, does that upset counties?
I don't think so. I mean, they've been doing it for however long. It's gonna save them money because they don't have to do it. It's just, there just has to be some agreement in place, whether it's one or the other. And I see both.
Okay, I don't know if there's any unintended consequences that we don't know about or going to see later.
Not that I'm aware of, but what we can do is, if, you know, I can contact or someone here that wants to take it, it doesn't matter, the county and say this is kind of what we want. I can draft an interlocal agreement the other way that says, no, you know, we want to retain this authority in our ETJ. We can negotiate back and forth and see, and it'll have to come through council for approval. So nothing's going to happen overnight. So we can kind of see how.
We obviously want to retain it, I just didn't know, we've never done this. We'll make sure there's not any unintended consequences or something down the road that's going to cost us more than we know.
I mean, you're not going to need their permission. I mean, the way that interlocal would work, it would be essentially, we're retaining the authority, so you don't have to ask their permission to do it. It's your ETJ.
Right.
So off the top of my head, no, I can't think of anything. But, I mean, it's definitely something that if I become aware of, I'll let you know, but I'm not off the top of my head.
So if we agree to this, then you're going to start the process, but then we get to see the paperwork before it's, can we read the details?
If you agree to the interlocal agreement,
Right.
so essentially, the way it reads is, once the process is complete, then they have to notify the city within a certain time period, and that be complete, saying, you know, so-and-so wanted a permit for this purpose, and we granted it, or we denied it, or, so they're just keeping you informed of what's going on.
Or like Phillip said, can we see what the agreement is?
Yeah. So
Oh, the interlocal, yes, I have
Before we-
emailed, yes, so I emailed Kelly a clean copy this afternoon, so I think it wasn't in time to print them out for your packets.
okay, so it's clear that we all agreed to do that, and
You're wanting to do what's opposite of this agreement.
right, so it's clear that we all want to retain that. So you would start a process that would come back to council for review and a vote.
Okay.
It wouldn't be done deal, it would come back to council for review and a vote.
Correct. We would have to negotiate a new agreement with the county that would have to be approved by city council.
Okay.
That is what I would suggest.
That's good. That's good.
Well, I think it needs to be done ASAP too.
Okay, so do we have a motion to reword to retain power?
A motion that we reword and retain our power and reword that interlocal agreement
Negotiate a new interlocal
Mhm.
agreement.
for both the plating and the subdivision ordinance.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? 4. Okay. Item 7, discuss and take action on table request 1700 Carver. Is there anybody here that is representing 1700 Carver?
Kelly, have we made contact with them and invited them to the meeting?
Yes, they declined to move forward with the replat and are just going to sell the property as is.
I'm okay with that too.
Well, that just means the new owner is going to try and do this.
Or not tell us, or not ask us.
So it just gave a little bit of reprieve, I
We're
think.
selling to the brother-in-law, starting over. Okay, so we're not expecting any representative at the next meeting or anything?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Next item. Discuss take action on table request, address 2316, Briaroaks, Mobile Park. Anyone representing 2316 Park? No takers. Okay. Next item.
Ma'am. Kelly, have we made contact with those people?
Yes, sir. I did make contact with them, and they have not provided anything, an answer if they're going to come or not. They just said maybe get something, but
I know that several people here are very interested in this topic, so just a quick review. The last meeting, when this came up, we said, why don't we invite this people here to explain to us, to define what mobile home park is, and tell us what their intentions are, and we can discuss it with them on the April 4th meeting, but evidently they're not communicating with us?
not past. Give me data, something. Silence.
Okay.
Do you want to address it? Do you want to address the mobile home park, period?
Me?
Approve or disapprove?
Well, all we can do is see if they want to contact us and show up at the April. We invite them to the meeting in April.
I think everybody here disapproves of it.
I was willing to
You
hear
don't
them
want-
out, because they're going to have representation also.
Nobody would look at me and say you approve
You
it.
get an opportunity to show up.
I don't want it.
We invite them to the April meeting.
This is April.
Okay, April.
They didn't show up.
Sorry, I'm looking at the mark, everything on here says March 7th.
I do
Yeah.
want to just remind that the action that was taken, right, is not formal action approving or denying their ability. It's just telling the county whether you agree or disagree with it.
Right.
Okay. I just
Sorry,
want to make sure we remember.
I apologize,
that.
everything on here says March 7th, so I got confused, but, yeah, no, we,
Question though, we right now retain the ETJ as of right now, correct? We don't kind of control that?
Not the subdivision ordinance. no.
Not right now, we don't.
Correct.
Y'all need to get on board on that. That's gonna be negotiated.
So, I have a question then. So what's to stop this person from just doing what they want to do potentially anyway? What's the difference?
Because the city doesn't have a subdivision ordinance in the ETJ, the default is the county subdivision ordinance. So they have to go through the county. So if the county approves it, they can do it.
Okay.
That's what I was.
My experience in the past has been, or my understanding of what the county and why items 7 and 8 are even brought to the city, because it's kind of they've been informing the city and saying, do you agree or disagree with this?
they didn't show up and even
So I don't want to say it's asking for permission, but getting a feel for what the city wants.
We need to let them know how.
But as of
So we
right,
need to
Yeah.
get in contact with the commission.
Yeah,
as
we-
of right now, they could just approve it. There's no say the city has. Okay.
So we need to at least lay out the welcome mat by saying we don't like it.
Need to contact the commission.
There's a lot of us here, we are not in Briaroaks. We live on Carver Road, right across the road where this is going to happen. And we are totally opposed to it. And you may think it's a small mobile home park they're talking about. This man has bought up 81 acres there. And he's going to get his return somehow in this place. And I'm telling you, they're going to stack them in there like wood.
Yeah, and he's coming in, he's got development money behind him. So we're gonna have to go to the county.
I don't know that he does have this money. As far as I know, he's bought this place, him and his brother. And I don't know what's behind him on this. I really don't. And I don't think he has a lot. I personally know this property for a year. I mean, I've lived here over 40 years, across the road. Gracie, who used to own it, and has passed away, and her nephew died. His wife got it, and she lives in Dallas, sold it all, sectioned it all. But this thing is cut up so bad with easements, gas easements, getting to the transfer line on the railroad tracks. I don't think there's any other development, the home development, nice home developers that come in there and do this. It's going to be something like a mobile home park that they're going to try and stick in there. any way you need our help to stop this,
We're all Johnson County residents. We all need to be down in the county.
there's plenty, he lives, I mean, directly across the road from this thing.
I'm right on the Briaroaks line, Briaroaks to the county.
He is the line.
2301 Target. The question I have is, as legal counsel just mentioned a moment ago, that there is no section to cover subdivisions in the ETJ. Can there be? Can City of Briaroaks request that?
That's what we,
Thus having the power to say yes or no?
yes, so we would have to have a subdivision ordinance or a zoning ordinance for the city, and that would extend to the ETJ.
Seems that that would be a good thing to consider.
Is there a filing deadline where if we don't have that filed with the city and that this developer can come in and do something prior to having an addendum to that procedure?
It would have to be on the books before this,
Before the developer did something.
before it was approved by the council, or by the county.
By the county.
The current building ordinances not apply?
It's not a zoning ordinance, so it's
Just
kind of
general.
separate.
Are these the same people that are trying to push this across the?
I'm not across, I'm right.
Well, I know, but they were
trying to do the same
They were
thing.
trying to do the same thing across there, and I was wondering if it was the same people or not. No? Or if they sold it to a subgroup, go ahead and try and push it.
Is the best thing for all of us to go to the county?
Go to the county meetings, and they'll have a citizen comment section if this isn't on their specific agenda. And
Are you guys on next door Briaroaks?
We're all next door, bro.
No, there's a next door Briaroaks app where neighbors communicate. Like lost dog or a council meeting coming up.
I bet his wife are.
Hey, I'm not going door to door to tell people we need to be at the county meeting. I don't have time for that. But if somebody can get the word out.
I can do that.
Get the word out.
I'm all caught up.
You know?
So if the city council.
I'll loan you a golf cart.
calls meetings, would y'all have time to get something in place?
potentially by the next meeting, and we'll have one in May, right?
To canvas, hopefully, yeah.
A nice bottle of wine.
Yeah, the next meeting will
But
be at
we
the
need to get
canvas.
this in place as soon as
Well, you can,
possible.
right.
You
the
can
next
do
meeting-
more.
Right, but that won't be until May, but you can have other things at that meeting.
You can do, yeah, you can do more.
So,
Yeah.
yes, potentially.
Is
So
is there a
that's-
minimum reading of ordinances before they can be approved?
I have to check some of your county documents, if they require it or not, the charter. The charter will have all that in it. Some do, some don't. But we'll have to pull it and look at it and see the specifications. But we can try and get it as soon as we are able.
I'm pretty sure it's two. Isn't it two? Two
I don't know, they
readings?
did it when y'all were talking about the burn ban.
Yeah, it was two.
There was like readings. It's the
Right.
summer of '20. That's when I came in.
Yeah.
Okay, so would the city consider having a special meeting to try to get something done quickly?
Yeah, we have to have a meeting to canvass the votes, so we could have it at that time. So that is coming up in,
Well, a line item.
yeah, it is a line item. After May 10th, we have a certain amount of days. Kelly will tell us that.
Make sure it's on the next agenda.
I think she is.
Make sure it's on the next.
Probably is. It's on the agenda. Oh, it's this special meeting.
Do you want to take
So
action?
for the
tonight?
sign 8, do we want to tell the county that we don't want to agree to it?
I guess we're gonna,
That's what they're asking. They just want us to send a letter saying we agree or we don't.
Okay, now,
No.
as soon as we do that, is that tipping off the developer, or do we want to take some other action and then do that?
Potentially. I mean, I don't know if the developer would, honestly, I don't know their process at the county. I don't know if the developer would know. I don't know if that's something they tell the developer, if they consider it really making a decision.
Well, I mean, we're online, so he's going to know what it is.
I think we should just say no, just to tell them no, that we're not going to, so maybe they won't just allow it. I
I mean, that's what they're asking, right?
Right, exactly. They're
Right, so
asking for
they're asking,
permission,
they want the-
and we're not gonna
They
give
want
it
the
to them.
pulse of the city, so.
Resounding no.
Mhm.
Okay.
No.
No.
So then we need to make a motion not to accept that interlocal agreement?
Not
that-
recommend,
Okay,
not the interlocal agreement. This is just for the rezoning for the 2316 Harbor Road.
Well, you can word it, I'll just go yes, for no. The answer's no.
Okay.
I make a motion not to approve what the county has sent over for the rezoning ordinance on, what was that property again?
2316.
2316 Tarver Road. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Sorry, I know that's Andy's thing to do. I didn't mean to do that. That's sorry.
I'll second it anyway.
Okay, there's a motion that's been seconded to not approve the county agreement.
Rezoning.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
That's all it
We
is.
need to start working on the subdivision ordinance. Okay. Okay. Item 9, discuss and take action on tabling the website secretary for reimbursement of the division.
But you need to speak on the subject. Me?
Accept it?
Hmm?
What'd you say?
You need to speak on the subject, not me. I thought you were looking at me to say something.
Did we ever approve to renew the website? I don't remember anything.
I don't remember ever anybody voting for it to be canceled. It didn't. There wasn't a vote to cancel the website.
Jack Perkey
So
said let it die.
when you just stop paying for it, that should not be allowed. That it requires a city vote. Not just, you have control of the financials. I'm not going to pay for the city website, so it just goes away. That needs to be approved by council. Am I right or am I wrong? I see. That's it. You just can't do that.
Approved or disapproved by the council?
What?
It needs to be approved or not approved by the council.
It never was up for vote. For you not to pay it doesn't mean it was voted
No,
on.
it needs to be voted
To what, keep the website?
to keep it or not, which would mean pay for it or not.
Okay.
There a motion to do so and to reimburse her so that we will have a motion to keep it or not to.
Okay. So, I don't know why we haven't done that before.
This is, we can only take action on whether or not to reimburse the city secretary, not
Okay.
specifically on the website.
That makes sense. So we're going to have to table this again.
There was nothing, there was no motion before.
Was never on the agenda.
to
Was
not
never
do it.
allowed to be
So
on the
this- Like
agenda.
she said, this is about reimburse her or not.
So we're going to have to table it because we need to put agenda item to have the website yes or no first. So I suggest we table this item again until we can do that on the next agenda and do it properly.
Do you want to table this again?
Yes, I do,
Okay.
because we're going
The
to.
reimbursement?
Need a motion?
Yes, the
We also
reimbursement,
need
because
to
we have to
discuss
decide
the
to do the
contract.
website, yes or no, they're trying to do it.
But if she has the receipt, she paid for it, why don't we reimburse her?
Because they never took the website down with the vote.
But it's already done.
But we have to put it on the agenda for it to be approved to keep the website yes or no, because Carolyn's saying it wasn't authorized. But it wasn't, again, authorized to shut it down either.
You don't have to have that in order to deny or approve this reimbursement.
It's just for no vote.
So what happens if we do approve it? This is a question I have. Why were you asking for all those passwords to everything? Mabry asked for it several months ago. I'm afraid you are trying to shut it down. And we do need that website, so I suggest that we do it next time and actually get a vote on keeping that website and be done with it. Yes or no?
Why are we fighting about it's paid for by?
What do you mean it's
Either-
paid for?
either
The city
reimburse
secretary
her
has paid for it.
Reimburse her or not?
No, I want to table it. Definite reasons for
I
that.
make a motion we reimburse her because she has a receipt. It's been done.
Okay.
Okay,
It's done deal.
motion to reimburse.
She spent her money.
Is there a second?
She won't do it again, just
That's what I'm saying. If it's a big problem, we can address it with the city employees.
I think the
fact
problem
it's
is
done.
the city is trying
That's
to
my
shut
point.
down the website.
My point is, I don't believe it was a malicious act. I
Okay.
don't believe she was trying to take money from
Oh,
us.
no, not at
I
all.
believe she has a receipt for it. We don't all have to agree on it, but the fact is, it's a done deal.
No, because
She has
some
a
people
receipt.
don't like that our videos are on the website and they want to shut it down. I'm just saying that is what will happen.
Now, some people don't like that they're edited and the comments are untruthful with the video.
Well, Karen,
That
that
are on
is your
next door.
opinion, okay?
No, it's
Everybody
not my
doesn't.
opinion because I can back it up with fact.
But this is, you're just asking if you're gonna reimburse her for what she's already spent, right?
Right.
My point is,
That's all it is.
my point is, I think she was trying to do the right thing. She kept it up. She has a receipt for it. It's been tabled multiple times. If the council wants to discuss this website, a different website, the cost of the website, who has control of the website, that's a different discussion. Fact is, she has a receipt. She spent her money. It's been tabled 3 times or something. She probably should be reimbursed, in my opinion.
Okay, so if she is reimbursed, do we have any guarantees that the website will not be shut down without city council?
That has
approval?
nothing to do with the fact she has a receipt. She needs to be
Let's
reimbursed.
decide. We have a motion to reimburse her.
And
Is there a
the
second?
attorney, they cannot shut down the website without approval from the city
Is
council?
there a
We don't
second?
want to shut down the website.
Is there a second?
Normally, yes, that is something that would have to go through city council. So-
Okay, all right, then that's fine. A motion that we approve the reimbursable.
He made the motion already.
I second it.
That's all I needed. All in favor, raise your hand.
Better not shut it
Or
down.
nothing.
Better not shut it down. Oh, we have witnesses.
I said the same thing.
Okay, item 10, discuss, take action on advertising and hiring a treasurer. Discussion.
We do need a treasurer.
We do.
Well, I thought you were going to come to the table and discuss the process that you've already done. Has anybody done a, what is it, job description for the treasurer?
That's kind of, I think, what this whole, so this discussion would entail all of that. What the job, you know, is it part-time, is it full-time, is it salary, is it hourly? Who's putting out the advertisement and where? What specific things are you wanting them to do? You know, who's going to be responsible for the interview process? Are they going to come to council and want to have a full interview? Or are we going to have the city secretary field them and go from there? And that's all stuff that's going to have to be ironed out kind of thing during this discussion.
Okay.
One of the reasons for, just one of them, is to separate the 2 jobs. So I think it would be done by the council, not by the secretary. It would relieve the secretary of a lot of things that she was initially tasked with. And it would place accountability for these duties here and these duties here. We just need the list of duties. There was evidently an initial list of duties when she was hired that had these things on.
Okay.
It was separate that and then redefine each position. I don't have that list. Never seen it.
Yeah, and the city secretary's job description does have treasurer on it, so we'll have to redo that one as well, I would think.
Is there,
But
can
if
we
it
do a
just says-
contract?
I don't have a contract, I'm salaried.
No, just their job
If it just says
description.
treasurer, it doesn't define the duties.
Job description? Yeah. Treasurer, make all deposits, pay all bills immediately, avoid late fees, balance the Quicken ledger with bank statements and checkbooks, periodically make a copy of that on a thumb drive and store it in the lockbox at the bank.
So are those all things that you want to go to the treasurer? So do you want to add that into the, do you want that as the job description?
I think that would be a good start.
The recommendation I've been trying to say the last 6 months is, or more, anything having to do with the checkbook and the accounts and the bills should be under a treasurer. Those duties and that accountability should be under a treasurer. Okay. She does enough documentation, has enough duties, and is responsible for her own stuff. In my opinion, it's two different jobs. They need to be very well defined to eliminate a lot of the division we've had in here.
Yeah, maybe then, once we do the initial audit, which I hope we get that going.
And maybe we can get an auditor to audit us when we have a treasurer. Maybe we could have trouble with that. So,
Then do we want to kind of talk a little more about how we want to advertise, what type of positions they're going to be? Is it going to be like Kelly, where it's hourly, or are we wanting to do a salary? Kind of trying to iron some of that other stuff out so we can have that, and then we can come back to the job description?
it's gonna be the same, these reports look the same every month. Is it not gonna be the same thing every month? It's pretty line item, is it not? Same accounts, same checkbook, same bills, pretty much every month. And it ain't a full-time job.
No, I'd say part-time and a salary like Kelly.
Okay. I even have a suggestion how to pay for it.
Okay, so,
We're not paying a dog catcher and we're not paying a policeman. I think that under this agenda item, I think we can help pay for this because I personally think animal control position in Briaroaks is about a 20-year outdated position. I don't think it needs to be replaced. But when my parents moved here, if your horse got out, it'd be on I-35 in 5 minutes. Since then, there's 4 businesses and 14 houses added between the two. There's a lot more fences. There's a lot less horses. There's a lot more. There's Briaroaks next door. Everybody gets on the internet. Is your dog out? I got a picture of your dog here. I got your dog in my fence. It's an outdated position. So I think that the money we had for that can go towards hiring a treasurer. In my opinion, it helps pay for that position. So we're adding a position and not having to add all that much.
extra expenses.
Yeah, I think,
Are we gonna pay that one? We didn't pay the dog catcher,
It's
right?
already in the budget.
I'm trying to make
It's
a
already in the
suggestion,
budget.
not an argument.
What, the treasurer?
So, how do we want to handle the interview process? Do we want the interview and applications to come through council?
I'm gonna have to sit that one out. I won't be here.
Shouldn't you get some of these people together to decide, to add some of the panel and try to throw that together?
If you want to have a committee of two council members or
Get
to
the job.
review it, you
Yeah.
can have a committee.
Committee and some citizens,
Could you
2
talk
council
about
members
that on
and
that
some
also?
citizens, maybe? Is that, no?
Treasurer's salary is already in the budget for this year,
Yeah, it is. It's in the budget.
so there's no problem with it, funding that, it's already in the budget.
Okay, let's not spend anything we don't have to. Suggestion.
Or is it just council members, since it is a position? Okay, I might get on, I understand.
I would recommend
Okay.
just two council members.
Got it.
So two of you want it, or 3, however many you want, and you want to field it and then bring your final, recommendation recommendation or two, or whatever y'all decide, if, council wants to see at least 2 options, and you can narrow down, handle the interviews and all that, and bring your final 2 to council for approval, and we can do it that way.
Like that way.
Yeah.
So right now, this
We need
doesn't,
committees to help us anyway.
just don't have
We got-
excuse me, right now, this city doesn't have a treasurer at all.
You've been here a long time, man. You've seen all
I'm just
this.
trying to find out, the legal side of things.
We go down this road again, we're gonna be here till midnight.
Right? So who wants to, do you want to form a committee tonight?
I would make a suggestion that we not form a committee tonight because you're missing 2 council members and at least one's about to be replaced.
Okay.
So I wouldn't think it's fair to make that decision and have your council be different at the next meeting.
I agree.
That's why I would, that makes it
awful.
Absolutely. Okay.
I mean, the new council people would probably want some say on that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or the people that aren't here. They're still council members, mayor.
Okay.
Just the mayor, maybe.
That's good. This will be, but these can all be recommendations for the next meeting that we have. Say this is what we discussed, and it'll be a good jumping off point going forward, so we're not starting from scratch, since most of the council is here.
No, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I've got my opinion, I can make my suggestion. Be a jerk move.
We usually put advertisements into the Burleson or Cleaver.
Cleveland.
Burleson doesn't have one, Cleaver.
Okay, so would we want to do the advertisement there?
That's all, that's the only
Flyers or
thing.
anything else?
No, I guess next door neighbor.
Okay,
It's
and
kind
post it on the website?
Yeah.
It's an app.
The next door app, okay, yeah, but then we can post it on the website too, maybe? Do y'all want to do that? Okay.
Sure. Kelly can do it. I don't know.
I said, I'll give you my opinion, but I'm gonna try to
Is that hard?
make decisions on
Are
this.
y'all still not
No,
posting
it's not
that
gonna be
now?
right.
Because we don't
I
have all
think
the
that'd be a
duties
jerk move.
to bond.
Mm-hmm.
Try and make a decision on it.
She just posted on the website. We're kind of tabling that now.
Yeah, because there's nothing to post because we don't even know the job
Yeah.
duties.
we're just need to
I'll just heckle it at the next one.
more time around to it.
Okay. I think that's some good discussion on what we want that to look like, so we can start taking real steps going forward. So I would advise maybe thinking about, what you guys want as the job description. Maybe so the next meeting we can be a little more specific
Yeah,
on
that's
that. And then hopefully at the next meeting, we can have it written out and post the job.
Can we have that job description written out, the basic starter thing there?
Just the 4 things? Yeah.
Yeah, just a copy of that. It's a good place to start, because it tells us, that basically tells us the duties where they start splitting it up. It's a good starting point.
So we want to table it to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Speak up.
Guess we
I
don't
think barely
have
hear.
anything.
Oh, yes, I forgot.
It doesn't hear very well.
Yes, do I need to make a motion to table it, or?
No, because you don't have to take action on it.
Okay, no action taken,
I'll
yeah,
just
that's right.
we'll make a note to include it on include more discussion on the next.
Okay, do we have a motion to discuss this further in the next meeting? Whether it's in May or June?
Well,
What?
Just.
May, I guess. If we can do it while we're canvassing and have a meeting at that time. Correct? Yeah, next meeting, May. Yeah, just put it on the agenda. Well, Lindsay said we didn't have to really do a motion, you just say that you're going to table
we
it.
don't have to talk about this. We'll just put it on the next. Because it doesn't require an action. So you can have things on the agenda that you can, like I'm going to say, discuss it and take action. Just because you discuss it doesn't mean you have to take an action. But you can't, if you want to have one to put, the problem is if you want to table, you have to have a date certain. We haven't talked about the canvassing dates yet. We don't have a date certain. So we can do that and get that date and then go back and table it. That's all I'm jumping around.
Okay. Item 11, discuss take action on adding a dead end no outlet sign and speed limit sign on Trailway. Any discussion?
I think we should add those signs.
Absolutely.
We need a,
I make-
It's the only street in Briaroaks that doesn't have it. Neither.
That's
Mine's
true.
good.
Every time somebody's asked for them, they've got one. That's the only thing they ever had to do.
Absolutely. Needs
Yeah.
some.
That's got the rest of them got enough.
Yeah, I motion that we get these signs, the dead end, no outlet
Need the
signs.
sign. The only discussion I would add is don't put it right on the corner, put it a little bit back, so it's a little bit more visible from the houses, because we have been having signs stolen, and that will save your sign. It's less likely to get hit if it's a little bit further back. And there's still an easement for the city, it's not in somebody's yard. It's less likely to get hit, less likely to get stolen, might save your signs. That's the only discussion I have.
Well, who's gonna put it up? We're talking to
make
Howard
sense?
like he's gonna do it. He's wounded. He's a wounded bird.
I'll help.
Already set up good.
Yeah.
Give me a sign.
Okay.
Got enough folks that will do it.
Who's going to install
Howard and Phillip
Yes.
said he would
it?
help.
So that they match, so that they meet all requirements.
You gotta listen, Mark.
Whether it's county or whoever, I don't know.
Well, who's gonna purchase them? Is that what you're saying?
No. Not purchase, but who's going to actually install them?
Howard and then Phillip and whoever else.
We'll get them in.
It's not a big deal.
No.
But who's gonna order the signs? I mean,
If we want them and we want them installed, make a motion.
I make a motion that the city purchase the signs, the dead end, no outlet
Okay.
signs.
Can you make that motion for all components with the post and concrete?
Oh, yes, for all the materials that it takes as well? The post and the concrete.
I'll dig a hole.
I'll second that.
Is that, just to clarify, just for the dead end and no outlet sign? Does that include the speed limit sign?
Oh, thank you. I left out the speed limit sign as well. I'm sorry. Thank you, Lindsay.
And is a speed limit sign of 30 miles an hour?
Now
What
that's
are the
what the
posts
city
in
is.
miles an hour? What's the post in the other streets that are within the city limits?
It's
30.
20 on Ward Lane.
Is it?
Oh, where?
It's 20 miles an hour on Ward Lane.
What's it on Valley View?
Don't have one.
Don't have one.
Word Lane was county. Word Lane, Harbor, and Briaroaks County, that's why they had the speed limit signs. Valley, Tarba, Trailwood, Meadow, they're not.
Yeah, I don't think Briaroaks has any speed limit signs, just the county roads.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Briaroaks.
That's what it's.
And no soliciting.
And no police.
Right at the city limits, yeah.
And all the roads, then, not just Trailwood.
So, it's been seconded.
Yeah. And I was just trying to find out 20 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour.
What's standard for the town, Andy?
Any residential street, residential driveway, generally 30 miles an hour. Yeah.
I know he's trying to do something. Just wasting time, actually.
What should it be? I mean, you've got kids, you've got horses,
How's it
whatever.
gonna be enforced? I mean,
20, 15?
Decide what you want.
What did the city vote that the speed limit be?
Well, it's 30 on Briaroaks. It's 20 on Tarver.
Word Lane. Word Lane.
Moreland, excuse me, right?
Ward.
So,
Those are county roads.
Twenty, gonna be 20.
we'll just purchase it and you gotta tell them what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should stick with the no outlet and,
20?
what was that one?
Dead end.
Who are you gonna put these?
15?
No, I said, where
Where
are
are
you?
they gonna put them?
Trailwood.
Trail.
Coming in, or is there gonna be two of them, one going out too, or just coming in?
Dead end and no outlet signs going in. And I think you should stick with dead end, no outlet signs. I don't think you should put up a speed limit sign on every road in Briaroaks that you can't enforce.
You can put what you want to, if people want to drive it.
Yeah, they're not.
That's my point.
I
I don't.
It's a mute point.
I'm not familiar with the area, the residential road.
They ignore that
Yeah.
stop sign.
The default is.
Well, that's
I don't know,
any
I'm not sure the
Every
city
city.
set a lower speed limit, but the default is 20 in a residential road.
Really?
So technically, the speed limit there is, right now is 20.
Okay. You made the motion to purchase signs,
Yeah, 20 years.
no outlet sign between malls.
But what I'm not certain, I know that's the default, what I'm not certain of right now.
Where's that set?
Whether we can, it's statutorily set in the transportation code. Default, like there's that, if it's on a, like an access type road, I think if there's no posted speed limit, I think it's a 45, it depends on the type of road.
Residential street, residential driveway.
Exactly.
Well, the city can change it, that's if there is no posted speed limit, that's.
What I'm saying is I would stay away from that, and I would stick with your no outlet and, what are the two signs you wanted? Dead end and no outlet signs, like the other streets have. I wouldn't start painting the town with other signs that you can't afford. Especially when they're gonna get hit by the equipment that's fixing to redo the roads, and you're gonna vote on that anyway, so you gotta redo them.
So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Just,
We have a motion and a second on the floor.
We have a motion and seconded for
So
the
you can-
dead end and no outlet signs.
and then I threw in the speed limit, but now you're saying no,
I would
okay.
ignore the speed limits. I would not start painting the town with speed limit signs you can't enforce, or agree on, or anything else.
Yeah, you made it sound. People go drive what they want to out here.
Okay. Then,
You put up speed limit signs, try to enforce it, you're gonna get all the residents, and they're all gonna be pissed off. It's how it works every time.
okay, then I make a motion to order the dead end and no outlet signs, and also the equipment that it takes, the concrete and the poles.
So, can you second that?
I wanna hear the specifics again.
They were the dead end and no outlet sign, and then the equipment, the concrete and the poles.
Okay. You're leaving off the speed limit sign.
That's what it
I will
seems.
second that motion.
Okay.
It can always be added later.
That's true.
We have a
My
motion
suggestion
and a
is
second.
second.
Purchase the sign, no outlet, and the equipment to do it. Everybody in favor, raise your right hand. We're up. Okay. Number 12, discuss take action on having all roads in Briaroaks repaired. It's been a while since it's been done. And if you do it all as one contract, you're gonna be well over the $50,000 that the state requires 3 bids. So, do you want to break it up? Not month after month after month, but this year, which ones are the worst? Next year, do another set. Next year, do another set. That way you can keep it under the 50,000. And you will repave it, not just patch it.
Why wouldn't we get 3 bids to start with?
Yeah, why would
Do we have somebody, do we have a favor we give it to each other? Or preferred vendor or what?
It doesn't get done at all, you know. You get 10 years.
Wouldn't it in the process either way, talking to a county commissioner, because you're gonna have to work with them on that part of the roads anyway?
Yes, it will, because they will have to be involved in some form or fashion, because county roads get paid to half of 3 or 4 of our roads is gonna be paid by the county.
Well, you could probably save some money and find out when they're gonna pave a road, go to that contractor and say, wow, you're there, and you run down this road.
That's what was done last time.
That's the best, probably the best way
We
to do
always
it.
use the county.
I mean, you can get the other bids and double check and make sure, but you could probably save some money while he's got all his new equipment out there working for the county, have him run down the
They
other
usually
road.
give us a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It would be best to get the county involved upfront.
So if we really want some of our roads repaved, we need to start going to the commissioner saying, hey, you gotta pave these roads out here.
Doesn't work that way.
Just know it's not cheap.
I was just saying, I've seen it work. It worked for me in Whitney. Called and said, I can't get my truck down the road, and got a new road.
So when we do roads, does that also include like repairment of bridges or waterway, the culverts and erosion of
What you put
those?
in the contract.
That'd be good.
Because I've got a request to repair a culvert area.
In the past, it's been oil and ground.
You can include that, or it can be a separate, you can do the roads and you can go back in and do culverts later. The same contractor, you can do all of it, and you can include it all.
Well, the road won't be there if it keeps going.
Yeah.
Where's this at?
She's got pictures of it.
It's
It's not rocks in it, it's just.
Nope.
so in the circle is where the culverts are. If you look, there's pictures.
Oh, there's pictures.
So that bridge that you get right there at your exiting Briaroaks, right there, where the waterway comes across, on the Briaroaks side, it's all being eroded, and it's starting to cave in.
Where's the city?
That's in the city.
It is in the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a county road.
That's a county road.
That's a county road.
We need to complain to them.
That's a county road.
Anyway, just figure out how to get that address, whose responsibility it is. It affects all of us. We drive over that road. So if we need to tell county or they come back and say it's our road, the resident's saying county's telling them it's our road. It's our half of the road. Because we're on the east side. Because that runs down Meadow.
Yeah. It's beyond that.
Is it?
So just something that,
He contacted the county, the county told me the city matter.
Might I suggest that if you have a list of the streets which are county roads, because you would exempt those from your consideration, right?
No, we can't.
Okay, but you have to go with the county to get that done. That's what I
Not
just heard
necessarily,
tonight.
Most of us,
necessarily, but you have to work.
it's pretty simple. Most of us who live here know the 2 roads in our county.
I mean, most of the roads, I've lived here for 20 years now, most of the roads have not only a name, but county road numbers. Like Farmers Lane Drive, Cross Timbers, or there's different ones, so.
The ones that are Briaroaks' responsibility.
Let's take control over this.
This is the thing, is if that culvert needs to be
Briaroaks,
replaced,
Ward,
you're gonna have
Park,
to do that road.
it's county.
So we need to work with the county commission.
That's what we need to make a motion for.
And we're gonna do
I
this
think
culvert.
we need to make a motion to work with the county commissioner to get this resolved. And who's going to take that action?
'Cause if we're gonna have to work on that culvert, we're gonna destroy half that road. The county commissioner's gonna have to,
Yeah. I don't
we're
mind.
gonna have to, and I'm sure they'll work with us.
I don't mind
We
contacting.
can't go over there and do our half and then tell them later.
That right there is gonna be $50,000 to fix.
So,
Easy. That's gonna be a pretty penny to do that correctly.
Okay, I make a motion that we contact the county commissioner to get this resolved as soon as possible.
evidently, someone to look at it is aware.
Yeah.
I just know, I know that it's potential.
When you say get this resolved, what are you referring to?
To
To
show the,
road repairs?
yes, the
Okay.
county commissioner what we have,
Okay.
and then bring it back to the,
I just want to make sure, 'cause I know we were talking about this culvert, so we can't take any action dealing with the culvert specifically.
oh, no,
But-
just,
But as long as we're talking about, we want to go forward with road repairs, and we want to do that by communicating with the county commissioner. Yes. I just want to clarify.
Apparently, the county's been out there and looked at that. If they're not contacting the city and sounding all the alarms, I guess their engineer's not all that concerned about it being an emergency.
Well, somebody needs contact.
okay. I make a motion that we contact the county commissioner and see how we can resolve the issue with the road, not the culvert. And I don't mind being the one to do that
I was
either.
gonna say, there's probably, you say we, but
That's me, yeah, I will. I've talked to the county commissioner several times. What?
not it.
Precinct 2, well, I think it's got culverts in precinct 2, not 3.
Really?
The resident there is in contact with it.
So you need to ask for a
I know
second.
him.
You need to ask for a second motion.
So the county.
Now, is there a second?
Building down there.
They said.
Is there a second to the motion?
Ms. Johnson, just second.
Okay, Carolyn?
Y'all are gonna be dealing with this for the next 2 years. These people can second your motion.
Okay, we got a motion, contact the county commissioner about doing all this. And,
Initiating road repairs. Initiating road repairs.
on initiating road repairs, yes. And interlocal agreement.
That's separate.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, item 13, selection of date for city canvass votes for May general election.
Okay, so the city must canvass the election between the dates of May 10th and May 18th. So you can just pick a day. I'm sorry, what?
We canvass the votes after.
You'll count them the night of the election. But then the official canvass, when we get them out, and they'll count them here in person with council, has to be done between May 10th and May 18th. That's when it becomes official record. Yeah. So state law requires it to be between the dates of May 10th and May 18th.
And we can't do it on the 10th, right? Is that on a
The
Tuesday?
10th is a Tuesday,
Okay, that's,
so I believe the 10th and the 17th are Tuesdays.
Sydney?
It doesn't matter with her. Council has to be present.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were like, if she needs to be there.
I would like her opinion.
Oh, on like the day?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gracious enough to help the city with this every time. I don't want to set her schedule.
Just so you're clear, she won't be touching anything.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure, I didn't know if you
She does her part.
thought she's going to do it.
she does it.
Council will handle all of it.
I appreciate her help. I would like her opinion. If she has one, or if it matters to her.
So I'm sorry, I didn't get the final discussion from you and Kelly.
He's just asking what day I think you would prefer.
If you have
an opinion on a
If you have an
date.
opinion or a preference for when we do.
What time of day are we gonna do this?
That's what they're asking.
That's,
I'm just asking if you have an opinion or a preference on it.
Not really.
Okay.
Okay,
She heard parts ahead of time.
what they can shoot for?
That's fine. I'm just,
May 18th.
anything that has to do with election,
I mean, that's a Wednesday, so you could do 16, oh, we mean,
That's
We're going to do it as
fine.
soon as possible and get it over with.
Yeah.
There you go.
so the fire hall's not available on the 17th. I mean, I'm sorry, on the 10th. So the first available date, I would assume, because we haven't asked the fire hall, would be the Wednesday, the 11th.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's say do it and get over with.
Can you tell us if it's available? Since he's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, the chief has to approve it.
How about
Okay.
we ask for the 11th and have it, then if he won't do that, 12th as a backup.
I was gonna say, maybe give two dates in case something's not available.
There you go. Her opinion is sooner the better.
Okay.
Well, I think they're looking at picking the 11th as the first option and then the 12th as a second until chief says yes.
So I make a motion that we do the canvassing dates, the 11th or the 12th, depending on the availability of the fire hall.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion to canvass the votes, May 11th or May 12th. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed? 0.
Before we move on, has the city, would you guys like to swear in the new members at that meeting after you canvass the votes? Or just at the next scheduled city council meeting?
I think just a good idea to do it then.
I'm fine with that.
If you do it, you cannot canvass before May 13th. The 13th. We are a type A city, so nobody in a type A city can swear in before the 5th day post-election, which is Friday the 13th. We can canvass that day and sign in.
So then we can just have them at the next meeting.
Okay.
As long as that's within 30 days of the election.
You can swear them in.
If it's more than 30 days after the election,
Oh, so it'd be a special meeting.
I'm just saying it needs,
no, they'll have
they have to be.
Y'all are gonna have 20 meetings.
Okay, so this is Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, what about the 13th? If not, we'd have to have a special meeting because it has to be within 30 days of the
You
canvassing.
love special meetings.
Item 14, election worker status update by city secretary.
I think we're reconsidering the last one.
Yeah, because we'd have to have a special meeting to do the swearing in if we don't do the canvassing and the swearing in on the same
So
day.
we're taking all of this motion back.
What's the motion?
You have a motion to remove the motion?
Why don't we just swear them in at the next meeting?
Because you have to do it 30 days after the canvassing, it would require a special meeting.
Have a special meeting and swear them in, that's alone in
One agenda item.
Right.
Yeah, we did that last
Do you
time.
have
Okay.
regular meetings scheduled in June? It's an even month, right?
We do. Let's look.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is April, so May is the special meeting. May is the special meeting, so June.
But we have to do it the 13th, and so the 11th and 12th. But we'll just go with the 11th and 12th and just have a special meeting to swear in.
Less than 30 days.
It would be the 30th day.
It would be the 30th day. There you go.
It would be the 30th
So we
day.
can just
Okay.
have a regular scheduled
Right.
meeting in June.
So let's stay with that motion, if you don't mind, after all.
June 6th.
I make a motion that we do the canvassing
You
on.
already did it. You already motioned it.
I already motioned it,
You're already
okay.
done.
So
I'm sorry.
We're done with it.
we're done with it, okay. I did it. Lose my mind.
Okay, so we're leaving it like it was?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. There we go.
Now we good? Okay. Election worker status update by city secretary.
Has anything changed
We
since
still
then?
need workers. I've got several that are ladies, but nobody is sure.
Hmm.
So that's 2 I need per day.
Okay.
We have to contact the county.
I have twice. They haven't responded.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some people, because they're having a hard enough time
If
getting
you
people too.
give me their names, I will call them and talk to them.
Okay. Yeah, so if anybody here has any ideas of anybody that could be willing to work the election, we could sure use it.
Ma'am?
I was telling everybody if they had any people that they knew, you need to contact Sydney.
If they'll give me their names, I'll talk to them.
Okay.
Can I give you my email address and find out where the
At this point, you just have to be a resident of Johnson County.
That'd be better. Put it on the website. Or the next door out, hey, we need some volunteers to work the election. This is what you need, and this is what you can.
Yeah, because the first level was city resident, but we're not getting any. So county will allow us to go to, the state will allow us to go to county residents.
I mean, is that a good idea or a bad idea? Just say, well, put that on the website.
No, we can.
Next door neighbor probably see it more, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, it could go
I think
everywhere.
you should say that out loud.
Oh. Well, we were having a little discussion. We put this out on next door neighbor and the website, Phillip, and I don't know if we need to make a motion for that or not.
No, it's just advertising.
Okay. Okay.
You need, I guess, contact would be Kelly.
The city's the contact.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, I don't know that she's on next week. I guess,
Yeah, we need
I guess Kelly would have to work that out, Sydney, just a suggestion. So it's not even like an open meeting thing, just something Kelly suggested.
Yeah, I could just tell them to contact me and then I can get them in contact with her. I don't want to post her number publicly,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
so they can, because that could be the
Yeah.
go-between.
Makes sense.
that's a great idea, Kelly.
No.
You're on it.
I'm good, yeah. I'm good.
Good. Discuss take action on payment of city email address accounts.
So this was brought up for when I put on agenda items that, to my knowledge, the credit card information that Mr. Bode provided to pay the city emails in August of 21 was to expire in March. So we need to make sure it's being paid, I guess.
So Andy, can you answer that? Because you're handling the financials.
How many email accounts can we have?
How many can you have?
How many do you have?
Email accounts can we have on that site?
How many you need?
One for every member of the council?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not limited. It depends on, just like Kelly said,
It's
how
better-
many you
it's
need.
Better than using a personal email, it's better than using a business email.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
But that's just a suggestion.
I think that's a good idea. So, are we voting on that tonight? It's not worded that way. Do we have to put it on an agenda item wording and exactly that?
Well, it's gonna have to be an agenda item. Whoever gets elected,
Are you wanting to
those are the
create,
ones that get the email address.
so you're wanting to create email addresses for each position, is that what?
Yeah,
Okay.
a place,
Right.
that name. Mm-hmm.
That way, I mean,
I just want to make
even
sure I understand what we're going to do, that's
Yeah.
all.
I'm making an agenda item
Okay.
for a,
if it's money to go out there, everybody in Briaroaks can get an email account.
what?
I said, if there was money to go out there, everybody would get one.
Oh, I know. So it is gonna cost, so we should probably figure out the cost too before we vote it in. You can,
So we want someone to look into that, so the next meeting we know how much it will cost per account.
are you asking Kelly to do that? It would, yes. She's the one that's dealt with it this whole time. But you've been paying the bills, so, I mean, if you want to contact them,
And in order to pay that, it does have to be done as a credit.
Yes.
so is it gonna get paid?
Since I'm up for election, I'm not putting my credit card in
So how's it gonna get paid?
there. So, to get it one way or another.
I'm sorry,
It needs to be done one way or another.
I still can't hear you.
One way or another.
One way or another.
And then find out how much from the other accounts, the other email accounts.
Okay.
Is there one right now? How many are there right now?
2.
Two, I think there's one for the mayor and one for the secretary.
Okay.
There's 2.
So, I mean, I don't know what the contract with that person looks like, but if, I mean, if you wanted to just pay for those two, you can always add, I assume you can add more later on.
Yeah,
So
I
tonight,
agree.
we're just trying to decide whether.
It was just to make sure that payment was still in place, because the card he provided in August was due to expire in March, so make sure that April is covered.
Okay,
So that's just to make sure that it doesn't, there's no lapse.
right. Gotcha.
So we really need to make sure that, because we need that more than anything with the city secretary, because that's how the large majority of the people contact her, the PRR requests and things of that manner.
Well, I need a city email because my personal email wasn't used.
So we're just trying to, right now, we're just, I think that's the plan, but right now, we're just trying to make sure that the current emails are getting work.
Okay, so how do we make sure that this bill gets paid? I'm still a little confused on that.
Is there not a city, is there a city,
Well-
like, debit card or anything with the account?
There used to be, there's not anymore since accounts were closed. Not that I'm aware of, but,
the treasurer.
yeah, that's exactly.
There's no account.
Andy, you're the acting treasurer. How is this gonna get paid? You're still,
Get a credit card.
who has a credit card?
You have to get a credit card.
Not just.
Okay.
Will that be in enough time
Not
for,
a debit card, a credit card. From the city.
don't have one?
No.
Well,
You get a credit card, you pay that. So then it is.
how long will that take? I mean, we don't want them to get canceled.
You do not want a debit card.
Hmm?
You do not want a debit card, you want a credit card.
Okay, well, you're the treasurer. I'm just saying, how's this gonna
He's
happen?
not a treasurer.
Right now, he's still at,
He's
well,
not a treasurer.
She's just asking.
With
if
no
you're
treasurer.
Open a credit card, how long will that take? So we can put it on.
It has to be done during business hours.
How are we paying the bills then?
It's on his credit card.
He's been making. Are you serious?
yeah. Finances got a little messed up. Okay.
Here's who's fault.
Who wants to put a credit card?
Not it.
Not me.
The city doesn't have a bank account?
Yes, they pay by check.
Okay, then what can we write on the bill by check?
It's not acceptable.
That's
Yeah.
it. We
Why
got-
don't you pay it to reserve like a mayor would do?
Because it's gotta be done as a credit card.
Yeah.
You don't have a credit card.
That's the way times are now. Not everybody takes a
I
check.
don't use my personal money.
Yeah, that's the other.
But see, we should have already had a credit card then months ago.
Do an
She
ECA.
had a debit.
He won't do that. Mm-mm. He will not do ACH. Will not do a debit card.
Okay.
Or a draft.
We agreed to reimburse her for what she paid on the website. If you'll put it on your credit card, we'll reimburse you for that. No?
Mm-mm.
How much is it?
Okay.
I know.
I'll rest my case.
I don't blame him.
No.
I'm
I'll
not-
see what I can do about getting a credit card. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna have to
Contact
get
your
back
bank.
to work to do it.
Can I just say something? Contact your bank and tell them that you want a secured business credit card. They will take $500 deposit from your business checking account into a savings account to secure that, and you'll have a credit card within 24 hours.
Oh, that's smart.
Trust me.
I didn't know
I'm
that.
sure that that bank down there with the amount of money that's on deposit is not going to have a problem saying, here's a credit card. They
Okay.
did it with a debit card, they will do it for a credit card.
Go to the bank and ask them, and they'll tell you what they. Yep.
So,
Andy,
make a motion.
you have a point of contact at the bank, right?
Yeah, I make a motion that Andy go down to the bank and see if he can get a credit card.
Mr. Bode has a point of contact at the bank that he's used before.
And you're the only one that can do it right
You
now.
can basically
The
go down
mayor's
there and
got
ask
it.
them, what's the best way to handle this,
Yeah, in the mayor.
and get the bill paid. Actually, I would think it was probably mostly the mayor's
But
responsibility, but
it
it's not
has to
yours.
be in the city's name, not a person's name.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a little tougher to get.
Well, I think the
And then
gentleman's
whoever
actions back there,
the treasurer would have full custody.
I agree, the treasurer should have a credit card.
Whoever handles the credit card needs to have a set of procedures in place as to what they can and cannot do with it and have to do.
but yeah, that's a procedure. Let's work on this today to make sure that the emails don't go away. I make a motion that Andy, you go down to the bank and see how you can get a credit card so we can pay the email account so they do not go away.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'm not voting on anything
That's right.
financial.
That's
Who
right.
voted? Who did second? Who did second?
Not
Did she do second? Did she second? Okay, I'm like, let's go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Okay, we have a motion for me to go down the bank, get a credit card.
Carolyn's,
See what it takes to get a credit card.
yes. Carolyn seconded.
And second, by Carolyn.
Yes.
She seconded.
Yes.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Let me understand this.
1, 2, 3.
We're making an official motion to ask someone to go run an errand.
See what it takes, and if we can do it.
What you're doing is you're making a motion that they get paid and you're directing
Right.
someone to take care of it.
And that will be used to pay the
Yeah.
email. And it will be able to
So
pay for
what the
additional.
motion is that, the motion is that the email addresses need to be paid for.
I agree.
And then outside of that, you're directing Mr. Bode
So the motion
to
is,
initiate
the
that,
motion is that,
initiate that process.
the motion is that we agree that the emails need to be paid.
Correct. And then
I'll vote on that.
the
Beyond
motion-
that, it seems like you have a gentleman's agreement.
Oh, no, it doesn't work that way.
So that's what, so the motion, I mean, you're right, the motion is saying, this needs to get done, this is, we're directing this to happen, we're saying this is gonna happen, and then you're gonna direct someone.
So can I abstain from that?
Why?
Because I said months ago, I won't vote on any financials, because it puts us all in bad. You're basically, if, I'll vote to say it needs to be paid for, but beyond that, it's a gentleman's agreement, you just said yes. Okay, I vote to pay for it.
Okay,
If you're gonna do the city a favor and doing that, sorry.
and then if the general direction is just that that's how, so yeah, you're voting that it's gonna get paid for.
If he wants to do that, that's fine. I can't send him on that errand.
You're right.
It don't
That's
work.
fine.
Because y'all aren't sending me on there.
Okay, motion passed.
Oh,
4-0.
hold on, I'm very confused what I need to put in the minutes.
I am too.
So the, well, and I guess, Ms. Witcher, you made the motion, so I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And this is what you intend. So the motion is that the email addresses are, yes, we're gonna pay for them. And then the direction of council, which is separate, but is for Mr. Bode to be the one to take care of it.
Yes, to go down to the bank and see if we can get a credit card. Mhm. Yes.
Is that what everybody voted on? Is everybody comfortable with it?
Quickest action is the only way we can.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Mhm.
Okay. We have one more agenda item, discuss future agenda items.
I think we
Does
should
anybody have any?
put what we left off last time, which, you know, you had mentioned that. So I mentioned that the city, people have been asking about a contract with Bob's for trash. And it makes sense. And then discuss the ordinances and businesses being run in town, because we do have a problem. Yeah, we do.
My neighbor,
Oh, is it?
right behind me.
Sanchez,
Yes, that is a problem.
So when you say discuss, when you have to put it on, you just want to talk about it so we can get a feel for what action to take after that?
Yes,
So a discussion item?
yes.
The same for the trash contract as well?
Well, actually, now that you say that, maybe we should put that business on the agenda, that particular one. Can we do that?
You've got lawn care services that are in here too, that speed limit would be ideal for, that small scale down Trailman Drive.
Really? Then maybe we should just put it on the agenda, then pick out the ones.
I think the concern is that there's an ordinance in this town and it's a residential community, and there are new businesses coming in.
Yeah,
This one in particular, the concrete company, that's a major concern because you're running, I don't know, 40-ton trucks up and down these streets that we're talking about repairing.
So it's businesses running out of a residential area?
Absolutely.
Hey, you can run a business out of your house in Briaroaks.
Yes.
You can't have your customers coming and going, and you can't run a 40-ton truck up and down a residential street.
You also can't
Right.
advertise.
Actually, there are restrictions if you read your rules about businesses within the city limits.
Yeah.
there's also actual limits.
But you know,
Actual
nobody's,
load limits are there.
But we don't enforce it.
And there are restrictions on businesses, but you can own a business and run a business out of your house. You can't have your customers coming and going. I don't know if we have a restriction against a big sign out in front of your house, which is kind of tacky.
Yeah, you can't, yeah, it says you can't
I've never seen that
advertise.
before.
and one thing I think we need to do first is get a process, because I really think a city council person or somebody should have even reached out to that person already.
But you also have other ordinance about nuisance within the property, not taking care of their property.
Right.
That's what I was complaining about way back when we were putting gravel in the ditch. That's, there you have an ordinance in place
Right.
for all that. You have these rules already in place, they're just not being enforced. A simple letter from you folks would probably go a long way.
I totally agree. And even the junk cars, everybody here knows how I feel about that, because who I live next door to. And I've had so many people go, oh, yeah, but at least I don't live next door to me. Oh, okay, but that makes it okay. It's like, no, it's not okay.
I don't know.
I
You're
totally
getting-
agree.
So we're
You're kind of getting into who do we pick on, who do we not pick on.
It's an ordinance the founders and the prior city council has made.
And you think you follow all the rules? all the
You're like
time?
2007-2 and
I know
3.
exactly what he did.
2007-2 and 3.
I understand.
There should be minimums.
It's the ones that-
Right now, there are zero
So
minimums.
they, okay.
If you had to walk out my backyard right now and see a bunch of concrete crap, you would not like that one bit.
I've seen your post, I've been by there, I've looked at it, that's very tacky. I don't like the sign, I don't like the mound of dirt, I don't like the big trucks. I understand that. How many times have you talked to him about it?
Why should I have to talk to you? That's not my
It's
job.
your neighbor.
I don't go down that neighbor road. That's what turns into gunfights.
Excuse me?
That's what turns into gunfights, because people are, this is a different time and age.
You're talking about you and your neighbor,
But
right?
we have a city council with ordinances in place that should be enforcing this stuff.
I don't think we have any control over that waterway. If I'm not mistaken.
Well, the neighbor can't throw trash in and block up the waterway. That's a different, that was a different issue.
There's state law with that. That's a different story. What I'm just saying though, in general, I shouldn't have to go to my neighbor and say, hey, you shouldn't be running a business here. That's illegal in the ordinance. You know what he's gonna tell me? He's gonna tell me to go fight back. But if the city council comes in and says, hey, we have ordinances in place, these are the rules in place, you need to abide by, or else. That's what should be done. That's the minimum that I'm asking for.
Correct.
That's all. And I didn't want to bring that up tonight. I just wanted to come and listen, but it's been brought up. And I don't like looking at my backyard.
That's why we should police officer. So do we want to put, so would the agenda item that you're suggesting be more dealing with enforcement of these ordinances that are being violated, and how to enforce them?
Enforcement and a process. Because we do need to have something in place. Okay, so what goes first? Do we write a letter? And if that doesn't work, what goes next? Because we've had businesses that we did.
So we want to discuss how you would, different ways to enforce them in a process and go from there.
Yes.
It's gonna be a lot easier with the police officer.
Yes, we need.
We'll talk.
Yeah, that's a separate, yeah, totally big subject. And they do, y'all put that on here if you want.
Well, I think that could be, yeah, okay.
Since you brought that up, has there been any response or any for the police officer position? Has anybody said they're interested or?
I can't,
Has anybody said they're interested in the police officer position since it was
yes.
talked about and
We
advertised?
have a resident out here that has applied.
Oh,
And I think we need to talk about it ASAP. We really need one out here.
You want to put that as a future agenda
Probably put
item?
it on the agenda then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could even appoint one temporary until we could get one permanent. I mean, that's just a thought, maybe we could do that. But we need one really fast, in my opinion.
Even before you do that, the council could draft a letter and notify certain residents of what rules you have, minimum rules, and that, you know, we've
Oh,
noticed
sure.
this, and then,
Sure.
so there can be
That's
action
right.
taken by the council. You can send the guy pictures of the tackiness and the stuff, the rules being broken, you know.
Right,
Somebody could let him know
right, that's the.
before you get police out. You don't have to wait for all that. Somebody can still take action and let the guy know.
Right, you can write him a letter and send the ordinance with it.
Making him aware is the first step.
Right.
Because
Is
your
that
ordinance,
listed on fire?
yes, ma'am, it is, but your ordinances also have levies and fees in there for,
Yes.
you have penalties in your ordinance that's plain as day on there, how much it is per day.
I think that would be the only reason that they got this municipal judge who we don't have court. But yes, I totally agree with that. But that's where we need to put in the fines. But then who's going to assess those? Who's going to write the tickets? Things like that. We need to figure out. That needs to be
I
part
had
of
some
it.
suggestions on that several meetings ago. You know, my point is, the first step would be contacting him, I would say by letter, or a couple council members or the mayor, deliver the letter and let him know, hey, this has been brought up by neighbors, council meetings, here are the ordinances, blah, 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 nice to meet you, you know, everything else, and you run this business, and welcome to the neighborhood, and here's the rules, and you're breaking them. Yeah, so. and-
That's the way we've done it before, and when we had a policeman, it was his job to deliver the letter.
You guys are still getting confused between a police officer and civil process.
Yep.
I've been doing this a long time, and that's why I was recommending constables to you
That's the
before.
first step, though. And
You would do better to send a mayor and a neighbor and a council person over there to introduce themselves. Welcome to the neighborhood, and then say, he can't change everything overnight. He's running a business. He's establishing a home. But he could probably work with you and get going in the right direction. That's what I'm saying. If you think that place is going to change overnight, that's just not realistic.
Phillip, can you volunteer me to do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna put it on the next agenda and we'll do some more in-depth discussion.
I've done it. I've done it with neighbors in the past. I've helped where I could. No, I'm not.
Okay. That's a pretty good list.
Scope up those storm heads.
It's 9:19, we're adjourned.